Welcome to this explainer. Today we're breaking down a highly practical, totally non-judgmental system for turning homework chaos into, well, easier starts, better focus, and a lot more independence. I mean, if you've ever felt like just getting the homework started is actually harder than the homework itself, you are absolutely in the right place. We're going to dig into some fantastic insights from Dr. Ömer Çelikkol to completely transform how your family handles this everyday battle.
We have all experienced this high-friction scenario, right? It's homework time, but the work just hasn't begun. The laptop battery is practically dead, a phone is buzzing away in the background, the pencil is missing, the instructions are buried somewhere deep in a school portal, and as a frustrated parent, you finally ask that universal question, "Why haven't you started yet?"
And the child's honest response, "I don't know where to begin," actually reveals so much. You see, families often interpret this exact moment as a motivation problem. And sure, sometimes motivation is part of it. But what this response usually reveals is an environment demanding way too much mental effort before the actual learning even gets a chance to begin. It's like asking them to solve a giant puzzle before they're even allowed to look at the picture on the box.
So here's our roadmap for today's explainer. We'll cover the chaos problem, recovery in space, the 5-part focus routine, visible progress, supporting without taking over, and finally, what to do when the routine inevitably breaks down.
Okay, starting with section 1, the chaos problem. We really need to diagnose the root cause of all this homework friction, which is decision fatigue.
Think about it. Instantly, a child is hit with this decision avalanche. Where should I sit? What task comes first? Which materials do I even need? How long is this going to take? Can I check my phone? What happens if I get stuck? It is literally an avalanche of choices hitting them all at once. Our goal here is to build a focus-friendly routine that completely removes these unnecessary decisions. Because let's be real, we can't force a child to concentrate, but we can absolutely create the conditions where concentration actually has a fighting chance to develop.
Moving right along to section 2, recovery and space. Because a good routine actually starts long before that first math problem is even looked at.
Before we even open a textbook, we have to recognize that the child has just spent hours upon hours managing social and academic demands. Demanding immediate work? Yeah, that usually backfires. So we use recovery. Now, to be crystal clear, this is not unlimited scrolling or gaming. It is a short, bounding reset period with a clear timer. You might say something like, you have 20 minutes to eat and reset. When the timer ends, we'll prepare the desk together. It gives their nervous system exactly what it needs to transition smoothly from the school day.
After that recovery, they need a low-friction homework space. And hey, this doesn't need to be an expensive, Pinterest-perfect study room. It just needs to be an environment that makes the next action easy. They need reachable materials, adequate lighting, and absolutely no competing entertainment tabs or devices fighting for their attention. The magic question to ask yourself here is simply, what environment helps this specific child begin?
Let's dive into section 3, the 5-part focus routine. This is where we look at the actual predictable sequence to drastically reduce that mental effort.
Here is our core system in action. Step 1 is using a calm, predictable starting cue like a gentle alarm or a set phrase. Step 2, prepare before working, gathering the pencils, charging the laptop, closing out those distracting tabs. Step 3 is to choose just one visible first task. Step 4 involves working in manageable focus periods with planned breaks sprinkled in. And finally, Step 5 is closing the routine, packing the bag, and noting any unfinished work so the task is officially mentally closed for the evening.
Now, the absolute most crucial point for step 3 is how you talk to your child. You have to avoid the overwhelming, incredibly vague command to just do your homework. Instead, use exact language to define a bite-sized first action. Try something like, open the math assignment and complete the first 3 problems. Giving them a visible first step instantly deflates that feeling of overwhelm. Which brings us right to section 4, visible progress. Breaking things down is key.
Large assignments can create this crushing feeling that literally nothing is being accomplished. You fix this by using small, visible units. Using a whiteboard, a checklist, or even just some sticky notes to display these small units shows the exact path forward. And as a huge bonus, it allows you as a parent to simply point to the next step on the board instead of repeatedly nagging and asking, "Are you done yet?" It's a total game changer.
All right, section 5, supporting without taking over. It is time to rethink what the parent's actual job is during homework time.
As parents, we usually bounce between 2 extreme modes, right? Either leaving the child entirely alone with a totally confusing task, or sitting right beside them, correcting every single answer and basically micromanaging every movement. But effective support is found right in the middle. It's the sweet spot of offering temporary and targeted help to make independent action more possible, without just doing the work for them.
Giving you the exact script is key here. Asking, what is the smallest step you can do without help, is an incredible tool. It helps the child identify their own roadblocks while keeping you from taking over. You might also ask, what support do you need from me right now? Explanation, organization, or simply company.
Finally, Section 6, when the routine breaks down. Because look, no system is perfect.
A routine needs to be stable enough to create predictability, sure, but flexible enough to respond to real-world conditions. So instead of turning a difficult evening into a judgment on your child's character, just pause. Ask these practical questions to find out where the friction actually lives. Are they refusing, or are they honestly just confused? Is the work unclear? Are they just too physically exhausted to continue effectively? Actually, scratch that. Just ask yourself, what is the specific obstacle right now?
The best part is you can implement this system starting tomorrow using the straightforward 7-day experiment. On day 1, you just test a simple sequence. By day 3, record your observations. How long did starting actually take? Which location worked best? On day 5, adjust only one element. Seriously, don't change the whole shebang at once. And by day 7, you identify a repeatable routine. The goal isn't a flawless week. The goal is a system your family can actually repeat.
Quick reality check, though. It is very important to note that a good routine reduces preventable difficulty, but it simply cannot solve every academic problem. If your child regularly cannot understand assignments, experiences intense anxiety, or needs unusually high levels of assistance, additional educational or professional support might be necessary. A routine is a fantastic support system for sure, but it is not a diagnostic test. Ultimately, a better routine turns homework from a daily improvisation into a learned skill that your child gradually learns to manage on their own. As we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with this single, powerful question to reshape your environment for the better. What unnecessary decision can you remove for your child tomorrow? Think about how you can clear their path. Thank you so much for joining me, and I'll catch you in the next explainer.